Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Rising Flame podcast. My name is Sabrina Perry, and I'm so excited to have you here and finally be sharing on a platform. I have not been on any kind of Facebook Live or video in over 4 years, so bear with me as I figure out the kinks and kind of get my nerves under control. It's a totally different thing for me, way different than being on stage singing. So just it's going to be a minute before I kind of get my flow figured out with it. But I've been working on this for a while now, manifesting it for probably close to 2 years, knowing that I had a story to share. It's my story of life, loss, trauma. I went through narcissistic abuse, a divorce, a PTSD, but how all of that actually became like the biggest blessings in my life and became doorways to incredible insight and growth and compassion and healing, so much that I didn't have before all of that. So, like I said, bear with me as I figure everything out. I'm not super techie. My husband is, but I'm just going to kind of roll with it and hope it all works out. So the Rising Flame, the name of the podcast came to me when I was listening to a song one day. And I got that, we all know that visual of the phoenix, being burned down to ashes and then rising out of the ashes stronger and more beautiful than she was before. And it's such a symbolic visual for people that have gone through these times in their life that had just like burnt their lives down to ashes. And then as you slowly rebuild, you get to a point where you look back and you see yourself and you go, man, like everything's better and, stronger and brighter and, than it was before. And so the Rising Flame is about that. It's about rising above those circumstances that were sent to destroy us. It will be evolve, like I said, as we go. I have like a outline of how I want the episodes, but I really want this to become a community project as well for warriors and survivors. So I'm excited to see what comes of it. And again, just thank you guys for joining me, and feel free to share if anything I say resonates with you or you think somebody needs to hear it, share away. So an intro to me, if you don't know me already, my name is Sabrina Avi. I'm married to my soulmate. We've been together for almost 3 years now, and we've been married for a little over a year. We're absolute best friends. It's an amazing, amazing marriage. I have 5 kids, 5 biological kids. They are 18, 16, 12, 10, and 5 years old. And then my husband has 4 children. So those are my bonus kids. And then we are also grandparents. Yes, we're not even 40 yet, and we just had a grandbaby this year. So my husband's second son had their first baby, and he's adorable. And I tell you what, if you're not a grandparent yet, it's awesome. It's super awesome. So life is amazing. Our family life is very blessed. My husband and I have a music career together. So that's kind of how we met and got started and connected. And we'll get to all that later. But we are both singers and songwriters and musicians. And so we have a music career, and we play a lot locally. And then, we've traveled different places and done some different stuff with our music. We have some stuff out there that we've recorded. So it's amazing. We love what we do, and we love the support that we get from our community and, family and friends on both sides that have welcomed us into each other's, sides there. So life is amazing, not completely without struggle, of course. There's always little things here that happen, but we have a beautiful life here. We moved to northern Arizona in Lake Havasu City, and it's beautiful here. The sun is almost always shining. In fact, I think yesterday it was like 87 degrees and it's November. So it's sometimes it's a little weird. And then today it's super windy, but the sun's still out. So we absolutely love it here. The people are very warm and welcoming. We have a great family and friends support. The music people here, all the musicians and everybody that supports local music here is also a really great community. So we've just really loved, living here and being a part of Lake Havasu City. And it's been amazing. It's been a really good place to heal and to rebuild and to, start our lives together. So that's where we're at now. I want to just do a quick kind of disclaimer warning. This is just a few things that I wanted to throw out there right away so we don't get too far ahead of ourselves. So number one, I'm not a professional anything, okay? I don't have any credentials or licensing to my name at all. So I am not authorized or licensed or certified in any way to heal anybody or to help anybody or to fix anybody. Now, I know of amazing people that I can send your way. But yeah, don't come to me with like, can you help me with this? Because I'm not that person. I'm sorry. I can only share my journey through those things. So I always say, like, go to a therapist. If you need therapy, go to therapy because there's probably something you need to talk to a therapist about. There's also, I'm going to put a little trigger warning for a couple of reasons. First of all, like, I'm not meant for everybody. I sometimes get a little passionate, i.e. I cuss or say things that are a little too truthful. And so that sometimes comes across as offensive, but I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't ever mean to hurt anybody or offend anybody. I'm just trying to speak and express, right? So I'm not meant for everybody. If you don't like me, that's okay. Okay. My story also does include abuse and death and some pretty dark, heavy stuff. So in each episode that does talk about that stuff, I'll make sure to put a trigger warning for our survivors to make sure that, we're not re-triggering anybody. So I wanted to go over a couple things in this first episode. It's going to be pretty quick because I kind of wanted to just do like our trailer, our intro before we dig into the meat of stuff. Like, we need to get to know each other a little bit first, right? So the first thing I wanted to talk about was as far as like the healing from grief and trauma. So, we talk about there's a healing process and a grief process, right? And everybody goes through it differently, and there's the different stages differently. There's the different stages that they go through differently. I'm sorry. But we can all agree that, towards the end of a grief journey, that you come to a place of acceptance, right? You come to a place of like peace and understanding that that's what was supposed to happen, or you've been able to come to terms with it in some way on your own. And so this is my final stage, basically. This is my stage of not only acceptance, but now taking my story and sharing it with others. So in response to the people that have said, can't you just get over it? Or, you're just feeling sorry for yourself. This is not that. This is me sharing my story and sharing the truth and sharing, like I said, the doorways to blessings and everything that came of this healing journey. Absolutely not feeling sorry for myself. And this is me over it. This is me very much at a place of peace and acceptance with all the things, and being willing to put myself back out there, which is very hard, as for a survivor. If you've been hurt, you want to just kind of lock yourself up. So, that's what this is. This is going to be kind of my story in a nutshell. So, a lot of you kind of know like bits and pieces, but you don't know like everything. So I'm going to be talking about like my journey with music, because, some of you that knew me in Oregon saw that I was this pastry chef, and then now you see me doing music and you're like, what in the, like, that's weird. So I'll talk about my journey in music and how it actually started like a long time ago, before even baking. Things like that I went through as a kid that kind of shaped, my adulthood, and different things that I went through with religious trauma, my first marriage, early parenting, different birth traumas. I mean, a couple of my births were pretty traumatic. Postpartum depression. I went through like so much, even just prior to the major thing. And health problems. I mean, marriage struggles. Like, I went through, I'm telling you guys, like a lot. But then to the diagnosis of stage 4 metastatic melanoma of my first husband, to his passing. to, after that, the relationship that I was in immediately after that, which was to a sociopathic narcissist, and the aftermath and the spiral of that, and leaving, and the PTSD and the post-separation and community abuse that both my husband and I and my family went through. Restraining orders, court. I went to therapy. I went to EMDR to get, the PTSD taken care of. I sought out energy healing. So I have a Reiki healer here locally. Functional medicine. I started seeing a practitioner here that really helped me with, root cause of what was going on with my body, because trauma had altered my body so much. So we had to kind of address it in a holistic way. But like I said, how all of those things that I went through shaped me into who I am now, and the strong person I am now, and why I have the mindset I have now, and why I'm so passionate about my healing journey and continuing it. Healing is never ending. I will never post or say anything saying I've healed, because there are continual triggers, and there are continual things that happen in our lives that come up that bring up old stuff, or maybe, and it just makes us always have to kind of stop and like look into ourselves and take it a little bit deeper each time. And so like the healing, and I definitely want to get into this more in another episode, but I call it that excavation process. It's a constant digging. It's a constant stirring up. You think you're healed. I mean, I'm going on 3 years here, and I have stuff that still comes up. So the episodes will have my story more in detail, kind of broken up into various portions, because some of them, like the last, 2 significant things that happened in my life, like kind of deserve their own episodes. So I want to lay down the foundation so you guys can understand like where I'm coming from, like what I've been through. Maybe you can relate, and maybe you can, kind of journey along with me through this. I also want to pull my husband on here, Scott. He has an incredible story. He was a teen parent, really struggled, throughout his young adult life, kind of dealt with some small town fame, heartbreak, addiction, and, different things, but he's turned out, amazing as, just like learning through all of those things that he's gone through, and his mindset and spiritual journey through everything is really beautiful too. So I want to bring that up, or bring him on and have a little chat with him and have him share his story, because it's, like I said, it's amazing. We want to share our story together. So it's not as easy, we're not one of those couples that, people see us together and, they know we're married and we sing together, and they walk up to us and they're like, oh, how'd you guys meet? And it's like, oh gosh, okay. That's where things get complicated for those of you that know, but the story of how we met to our runaway to Arizona, and, how all that actually took place, because there were a lot of stories that ran around. We wrote a song about it. It got a little crazy, but we do want to share it from our perspective of everything that went down, and, how, like I said, how that has led to our beautiful healing journey together here in Arizona. So big and impactful lessons I've learned through all of this. I mean, I had to deal with so much stuff, and I learned so much just about myself and about others, and, about boundaries and protecting my peace and my mindset, and, my family, and, how to heal, and so much. So I'm so excited to share this stuff with you guys. I want to bring on some interviews other than just my husband, but also bring on some of my friends and some of my mentors. These people that have incredible stories as well. And, some of my top inspirations, like I said, I would not be where I'm at without the women that poured into me and gave me their time and their wisdom and their, insight of things. So I want to try to bring those women on and have them share with you guys, and have you guys just be as blessed as I was by them, because I think between everybody, it would be like this powerhouse healing team. And then, like I said, I want the episodes to kind of evolve, and we'll just see where that takes us into, like 2024. I'm passionate about a lot of things. I'm knowledgeable about a lot of things. Like I said, I'm not licensed, but I study a lot. I read a lot. I'm constantly trying to self improve and grow and learn in every aspect of my life. So I'm super passionate about women's empowerment, holistic and alternative health. I love all the things hippie, all the things alternative, witchy, if you will, even spirituality. And I'm going to throw in a little disclaimer with the spirituality here. This is going to 150% just be my story, my journey, my views, right? You don't have to agree with me. And if you don't, that's okay. I don't subscribe to any like one religion. So if that is something that you're not interested in, then that's okay. And then raising kids, raising kids is not something that is easy for those of you that are parents, no, but even raising, traumatized kids, special needs kids, that obviously becomes a lot more intense. So I'm going to be sharing about, that and how I've had to help my kids with their healing as well. And then my husband and I also want to do an episode at some point where we get on and we just talk relationships, because we both went through seriously toxic relationships before finding each other. And those relationships and the lessons we learned through those, and like red flags versus green flags and, things like that. So, and what we do now to cultivate our healthy marriage and what our boundaries are and our standards are for our marriage based off of everything that we've learned from all of that. So, again, I thank you guys for joining. Like I said, this first episode is going to be a little shorter, and then the intro. And then as we get into more, it's going to be a lot more stuff. Episode 2 will be kind of like my story from the time I was born to about the time I had my last baby. And so you'll kind of get a glimpse of what made me become me. So I'm excited to share. And thank you all so much again for your support and joining. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Anybody that, like you said, if you feel would benefit from hearing this, go ahead and click share or tag them. And again, like I said, I hope we just heal and use this as a platform to grow and help each other as we rise from the flames. So thank you so much.